How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Gundam card game video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today, we have our very first GD05 Freedom Ascension deck brew videos. We have 6 new brews to talk about. 5 of my own design that I've been kind of tweaking over the last few weeks, and actually one that was made by my nephew, Troy, so big shout out to my nephew, Troy, and piloted by his friend to a win at a recent Eggman event, like online thing. And he was talking to me about the deck. We were actually playing some cards via webcam. He was talking to me about the deck, and then it ended up winning. So yeah, I figured, hey, let's feature that and kind of get it on here. He's been a big fan of this archetype for a little while, so we'll talk about that when the time comes. So before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to our Gundam card game sponsor, Fantastic Realms. They are, well, they are fantastic. They are a Gundam sponsor. They're an LGS out of Alaska, and without them, a lot of this Gundam card game content would not happen. I had purchased my my GD05 boxes from them. We have 8 boxes coming. We're going to open them up on the channel, as well as do a review of the like deck builder kit type thing. So I want to give a huge shout out, like I said, to Fantastic Realms, and yeah, I'll have a link down below and all that kind of good stuff. Go support them. They're awesome. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our overlay and start talking about our first 6 decks for Gundam Set 5. This set's really, really cool. There's so much cool stuff, so let's get started. All right, and we're gonna kick it off with, it might be my most anticipated deck, or maybe tied for my most anticipated deck from this new set. We have the Mobile Fighter G Gundam archetype. In fact, this entire deck list is just entirely cards from Set 5. It's all G Fighter cards with some, you know, stuff that we talk about in that are like options that you could put into the deck. I know that versions of this deck have been doing pretty well at some of like the preliminary tournaments, the online tournaments. I've seen a couple different versions of it. This is kind of the one that I was toying around with, and I haven't tweaked it based on the results that I saw, and I saw a couple different variations of it. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This is such a cool archetype. So this is a deck that I would say functions more or less kind of like a mid-rangey deck. It's not like obviously super aggressive or just running one level 2, and with the new restriction, you can only run one level 2 1 cost 2/2 in your deck at all, so it kind of limits what you can do in that regards, and I think that in itself will slow things down quite a bit. We're also running a lot of the powerful new special move cards, including Darkness Finger, which you're going to see a lot in a lot of red decks, not just this deck. I think this card's incredibly good. So let's go ahead and talk about the units first, and then we'll talk about all of the well, you know what, actually let's rewind it a little bit. Let's talk about the pilots first and then the units. That's something like I typically like to do when I talk about any new Gundam deck. I usually talk about it in terms of pilot piles, because you usually build your deck around your pilots. So let's talk about the hero, the protagonist, Domon Kashu from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. His hand glows with an awesome power. This is he's actually really, really good. So like I said, level 4 1 cost 2/1. He's a Gundam Fighter Shuffle Alliance burst at the hand. When paired, draw a card, then discard a card. By that's already good. Then, if you discard a special move command card with this effect, you may activate its main effect, which is so crazy good. Which means if you discard the Darkness Finger, you can shoot something for 2. If you discard the Cyclone Punch, you can activate this effect, give something -2, and then do its then like pair it up with something. It's just crazy good. Domon Kashu is super, super good in this deck. We have other special moves we'll talk about as well, but this just makes the deck work super, super well. For this, we're also running some mobile suits that work well with Domon Kashu. Obviously, we have his signature Shining Gundam. This is the LR version. It's a level 4 3 cost 3/4. Links with Domon Kashu. It's an MF, which stands for Mobile Fighter and Shuffle Alliance. It has an on deploy. You may choose 2 MF cards in your trash, MF unit cards specifically in your trash. Exile them from the game. If you do, choose a special move command from your trash and then add it to your hand. So we can actually buy back our Darkness Finger. We can buy back the Shining Finger. We really like fingers with this deck, or we can even get back some of our command pilots like Psy or Chibbity Crockett. Yeah, we're running Chibbity Crockett. So Yeah, it's pretty sweet. We can get back a lot of stuff with this card. And then on attack, once per turn, we can choose one of our rested resources and set it as active, which is also fantastic to, you know, actually play some of these cards. As you can see here, they all cost 1 to play. So getting our resource back means we can just jam the card that we got back for free, which is really, really good. So this is kind of like the crux of the deck. We have this really, really powerful value engine between Domonkashu and the Shining Gundam, all backed up by the powerful special moves. We also have the Rising Gundam, which can link with Domonkashu and any of the other pilots, actually. This is a level 4/3 cost 4/3. It's an MF unit, and then when linked, choose an enemy unit with 4 or less HP and rest it. So this is great board control, great way to get, you know, sneak past some blockers, or just to, like I said, do some board control. And it links with any Gundam fighter trait, and all of our dudes have Gundam fighter traits, which is very good. And I'm pretty sure even the Master Asia has the Gundam fighter trait as well. And then we also have one more. We have the Shining Gundam Super Mode for Domonkashu, level 6, 5 cost. This is one of our finishers. It's a 4/5, links with Domonkashu. It's an MF Shuffle Alliance. And then when you activate a special move, commander action, this unit gains suppression during the turn. So this is how we do our double damage. And then during link on attack, this unit gets +2 AP during the battle. So it'll make it just absolutely massive. If you are linked up with Domon, sorry about that, the website just like died for a second. I don't know. I need to find a better website to use for these videos. I'm using EX Burst. Let me know if there's a better one that I should use. I've tried the Eggman one, but I didn't really like how it stores your decks. So I don't know. If there's a better one, let me know. Anyway, so I was saying, if you link this with Domon, it comes in for 8, which is pretty good. I like smashing into stuff, but obviously you want to do that suppression so you can actually get the double damage, which is pretty nice. Our other pilot that's not a like command pilot is another weird one. This is Master Asia. He's so cool. Level 6, 1 cost, +2/+2 pilot. It's a Gundam fighter. His burst is weird. Burst, you add it to hand. Then if there are 3 or more MF cards in your trash, you may deploy it as a 3/3 unit. Instead, don't treat it as a pilot. What this means is that if you burst into Master Asia while you have 3 MF cards in your trash, he's just a 3/3 unit. Like, this is so flavorful because he actually like beats up mobile suits with his bare fists. If you haven't seen G Gundam, it's insane and awesome, and I highly recommend it. And then like actual like what he does is during link on attack, if you've activated a special move command card's main or action during this turn, you choose an enemy unit and deal 2 damage to it. He's so freaking good. He gives you +2/+2. He can blast stuff for 2, and if you burst into him, he can also just be a 3/3 unit. Master Asia is very good, and he's the very first LR pilot in the entire game. Yeah, he's very good. And then we have his signature mobile suit, the Master Gundam, level 7, 5 cost 5/5, MF DG cells, links with Master Asia. And then on attack, you can choose 2 special move command cards from your trash. You exile them from the game. If you do, you deal 5 damage to the first card in your opponent's shield area. So you can either just break one of their shields, or you can blow up a base. It's really, really powerful. And then obviously, if you're doing the attack and you have Master Asia, then you'll get Master Asia's attack, and you know, hopefully shoot something for 2 damage. It's so good. It is very, very good. So there's that. And we also have the How Gundam, which also links with Master Asia, level 6, 4 cost 4/4. When paired, you may choose one of your other MF units, or one of your other active MF units. You rest it. If you do, deal 2 damage to all enemy units whose level is equal to or lower than the unit that you rested. So we're running 2 copies of this, just because it can be a little clunky, but I still think it's really, really good. When it works and when you pull it off, I think this card's really, really powerful. But keep in mind that we don't have to deal with the exact same type of like swarm aggro decks that we saw before. We're still going to see some. In fact, one of the decks we'll talk about today is a very aggressive deck, but still, this is really good and can deal a lot of damage and, you know, do a lot of like board control. It might be worth running 3 of this one. I'm unsure. And then we also have our command pilot. So we have Sai, or the Hokakyoten Juzetsujin. So level 4, 1 cost. The pilot side is +2/+0, and he's a Gundam fighter, Shuffle Alliance, and also a special move. And so the main part is you choose one of your MF units without breach, and it gets breach 3 for the turn, and then after activating this card's main, you can pair this card from your trash with one of your MF units. And that's kind of like what most of the special pilot, or the special move pilots do, is that you'll do their special move and then they'll just kind of like slap on to one of your units from the graveyard. It's really, really good. And so Sai's, I'm running 2 copies of him, and the Sai's Gundam is the Dragon Gundam. Level 5/3 costs 4/4, links with Sai. Once per turn, when this unit destroys an enemy shield area card with damage, choose an enemy unit with 3 AP or less and deal 3 damage to it, or deal 2 damage to it. And then during link on attack, activate the main of a card paired with this unit. And so obviously what you do is with Sai, you do his effect, you give something breach, and then he comes into, hopefully link up with your Dragon Gundam from the graveyard, and then you attack, and then you give something breach again, which is really, really sweet. So, yeah. And then Sai, obviously, like I said, gives a +2, so this will be smashing in for 6, and so 6 with breach, and also the ability to deal some extra damage is always really, really nice. I think the Dragon Gundam's pretty good, but I'm just running 2 copies of each of these because we're already running 4 Domon, running 4 Master Asia, and then I also wanted to run Chibity, so we have there's not a lot of spots available in this deck. And speaking of Chibity, we have Cyclone Punch, or Chibity Crockett. Level 3 1 cost 1/1 on the pilot side, Gundam Fighter Shuffle Alliance special move. The main side is you choose an enemy unit and gets -2 AP during the turn, and then after activating the main, you can pair it from your trash with one of your MF units. And Chibity's mobile suit of choice is the Gundam Maxter. Level 3 2 cost 3/2, and then it says obviously links with Chibity Crockett. And then during our turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can reveal 1 special move command card from among them, and you add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck, and then during link on attack, it activates the main of a card paired with this unit. And once again, Chibity Crockett gives a thing -2. So that's really, really good. You can get kind of like a double -2 here, so you can play Chibity, give something -2, and then do the attack trigger off of the Gundam Maxter and give another -2. So it's a good way you can actually smash into something. It'll be smashing in for 4 because Chibity gives +1/+1, and then you can hopefully get that first effect, which is just also really, really cool. I also want to note that these count as command cards, not pilot cards. Like in the deck when you're like doing an effect like the Maxter, so you would be able to obviously get any of these, but you could also get Darkness Finger or the Shining Finger as well. So yeah, very cool. The deck is super cool, super intricate, and it just plays super, super well when you're playing your commands, and then they come back from the trash, and you attack, and you do it again. You can do some really, really cool stuff. And I think that just about covers all of the units we've talked about. Let's kind of finish up and talk about the last couple cards. So we also have the Shining Finger itself. Level 4 1 cost command. It has a burst. So on the burst, you add this card to your hand. And then during main or action, you can choose an enemy unit with 4 or less HP and you rest it. So it's a pretty good effect. And then you can choose one of your units with Shining Gundam in its name and it gains first strike during the turn, which is also excellent. And as you saw, we're running the Shining Gundam, and we're also running the Shining Gundam Super Mode. So this just, obviously works extremely well with Domon Kashu, and then we can use Domon Kashu to get our Shining Finger back, and then, Shining Finger something, rest it, and then just kill it, which is pretty sweet. So we're running 3 copies of this. And we're also running 4 copies of the Darkness Finger. Level 4 1 cost command burst. You activate this card's main, and then main action, choose an enemy unit and you deal 2 damage to it. This is it's a 1 cost close combat, but it has a level 4. I think this card's really good. Even if that was all that it did, I think it would be good and playable. But in this deck in particular, it does a little bit more. It says if you have a unit with Master Gundam in its card name, you also get a draw card. So if you Darkness Finger while you have a Master Gundam in play, you also blast something for 2 and then draw a card. Could also be on the same turn where you do that, and then you attack with the Master Gundam and trigger its effect to blast something for 5, and also trigger the Master Asia effect to blast another thing for 2. It's a pretty big top end, and you can deal a ton of damage. And then the final card in the deck is the Gundam Fight Stronghold base. So it's a level 3 1 cost 0.5 base. On deploy or on burst, you deploy it. On deploy, shield to hand, and then activate main. Rest this base. If a friendly MF Link unit is in play, choose a friendly unit and it gets +2 AP during the turn. So it's a nice little +2 AP pumper to help you trade into your opponent's stuff. And we have so many links. Everything in our deck links, with the exception of the Shining Gundam, just the the little tutu. I guess technically, by the way, we can use the Shining Finger on the tutu as well. And yeah, that's basically the deck. It's like this really fun mid-range deck where everything synergizes really well together. It's one that I'm going to be playing with a lot and like fine-tuning and testing a lot. Down here I have some options that it says it's in my side deck, but there's just other cards that I'm considering. I've seen versions of this deck run all 8 of these, 4 and 4, and then they kind of cut back on some of this other stuff, like size, and they kind of like trimmed it a little bit here. I'm trying like full G-Fighter, but I think these might end up being the better way to go, and I think you can get a lot of value from these cards with their discard effects out of stuff like the Shining Gundam, being able to get some of those cards back. So I think this is definitely a way you can go, but I wanted to try this first, and I think it's really sweet. So that is our first take on the Mobile Fighter G Gundam deck. It is very cool. Next up, we have a deck that I also anticipate to be very strong. This is the all-in Amuro deck. What did I call this one? I just called it, just GD05 new Amuro, or new Aggro. So this is a green-blue deck that heavily focuses on our Amuro Ray pilots. The fact that we have 2 Amuro Rays means that, well, we can kind of go a little bit deeper. My version of this deck, and I have also seen some other versions of this as well, I opt to go for some stuff that I haven't seen a lot of other people run. I really like the LR RX-72 Gundam from set 1, and I also really like the Gundam Alex from set 3, since we're running so many Amuros, and these are really good for them, and they also give us a lot of card draw to help keep the aggression up. This is the most aggressive deck that we're going to be talking about today. So let's talk about the pilots. We'll talk, separate into pilot piles, which is really interesting because they're both Amuro. So let's show the old Amuro first. So here's old Amuro. He's fantastic. Level 4, 1 cost 2/1 pilot, burst, add to hand, and when you pair, you can choose an enemy unit with 5 or less HP and you rest it. It's great, once again, for getting past blockers or just doing a lot of really strong board control. He's one of the best pilots in the entire game, and for good reason. He also has really good links. We'll talk about that in a moment. We also have a new Amuro. This is the Char's Counterattack Amuro. Level 5, 1 cost 2/2 pilot. Earth Federation, Londo Bell, and Newtype. Londo Bell is really important to this deck. During your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, this unit recovers 2 HP, which is also really sick for any of our RX-72 Gundams that also have repair. So we can essentially heal for 4, which is really nice off of Amuro. So yeah, we're running the full 8 Amuro, and we're running an absolute crap load of Amuro links. So we have tons and tons of link potential in this deck, which is really good. So let's talk about some of the Gundams. Let's start with the newest, the flashiest, the new Gundam. This card is awesome. It is literally my favorite Gundam in all of Gundam. Every year when they do like the vote for your favorite Gundam, I always vote for the new Gundam. I have a master grade Verka new Gundam. Perfect. This is my favorite. It's my favorite. Anyway, so this is a level 7 5 cost 5/5 Earth Federation Londo Bell unit, links with Amuro Ray. It has Breach 5, which is extremely important. 1, it's great, but 2, he basically has a fight effect like a fight effect in Magic the Gathering, if you know what that means. So when paired, you can choose 3 Londo Bell cards from our trash, so they can be any type of card, exile them from the game. If you do, you choose an enemy unit and you begin a battle between this unit and it, and only perform the damage step. So essentially what it means is you do this and it forces 2 units to fight like a fight effect in Magic the Gathering, but notably, this fight will trigger Breach if we kill their thing, because Breach just says during your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, then you deal a specified number of damage to the first card in the opponent's shield area. And this one specifically says you do it's a battle and you do damage. So yes, it will trigger Breach. That's the whole point of the card. So With New Amuro, that's a 7/7. You fight one of your opponent's things, you kill it, you breach them, you heal for 2, and then presumably you attack into something, and then you're great and breach into something else, right? It's very, very good. So it's kind of like one of the, the top end ways we kind of close things out with the deck. Having the breach is just so good. We're also running the rare new Gundam, level 5 4 cost 4/4. During pair, it has breach 3, still very good. Links with Amuro Ray. It is Earthfed and Londo Bell. And on deploy, if there are 2 more Londo Bell cards in our trash, we gain an EX resource, which is nice for going up to level 7, right? If they're able to kill our rare new Gundam on 5, that makes us basically level 7 for the next turn, so we can jam into the LR version, which is also very nice. Also, like I said, running the Gundam Alex, or the NT1, level 5 4 costs 4/4. This one links with Amuro Ray as well. It has repair 2, and then when you pair it, you choose a rested enemy unit, and you deal 1 damage to it, and if it kills the unit, you also get a draw card, which is really good. We're a really aggressive deck. You can see we're running 35 units, so basically everything we do is like either super aggressive, or either like draws us cards to help, continue the aggression. We're also running the RGZ, the Ridges, the level 4 3 cost 4/2, links with any Londo Bell trait or Amuro Ray. And then on Destroyed, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can reveal a Londo Bell unit from among them and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. So this is one that we don't typically link up all that much, because we have definitely have other effects that we'd rather pair up and link up. But still, it's just a 4/2 that when it dies, we get a good effect. It's kind of just like the Sharzaku 2 LR that has that effect as well. So it's quite solid. Obviously, we're running the starter deck LR. This is just fantastic. It's just kind of like a big chungus. Level 4 3 cost 3/4 with repair 2, and then during pair, all of our dudes get +1 AP on our turn. Obviously, links with Amuro Ray. And this one is Earth Federation White Base Team, which is relevant. White Base Team will be relevant for this other Gundam. So yeah, just really solid, and works well with what we're doing. We're also running like I said, the LR Gundam RX-782 from set 1. I think this card's super underrated. I really like it, and I like it in this deck in particular. In fact, the more I play with this deck, the more I want to bump this up to 3 copies. I just think it's super nice. I'm not sure what to go down on though, but it's so cool. So this is a level 4 3 cost 3/3, links with Amuro Ray. All of our white base team units get repair 1, including itself, which is cool. So that will affect our gun tank as well as the other RX-782. But also, when you pair it, if you have 2 or more other units in play, you're going to draw a card, which is just super nice. I love being able to just get the additional card draw off of this. Linking with the +2/+2 Amuro, making this a 5/5 with repair. Then you can smash into something. You'll get the heal off of this dude. You'll get the repair at the end of turn, and you also get to draw the card if you had 2 or more units. And it's really easy to have 2 or more units because we're actually running a lot of low-cost aggressive stuff. So I really like this card in this deck. I think it's really sweet. Next up, we have the Kairez RGZ, level 3 2 cost 3/3. We're only running 3 copies of this. Does not link with Amuro. It links with Kyra Su, but we're not running her on the deck. But it is a Londo Bell card, which is important. On deploy, look at the top card of your deck, and you can put it back on the top or the bottom of your deck. We're basically just running this because it's a Londo Bell card, and we just need more Londo Bell cards. If I was going to cut anything, it might be one of these, but just having the critical mass of Londo Bell cards is kind of important. And then for the last 3 units we're running are pretty simple. We're running the Zaku 2 from Starter Deck 3. This is just super good now because, hey, you can only run 1 Grunt. You can only run 1 level 2, 1 cost 2/2. And this is a level 2, 1 cost 3/2 on attack. So this is actually quite good in aggressive decks. So this is great. I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of this guy in the current meta. And we're also running the Gun Tank. Level 2, 1 cost 1/2. Deploy, you blast the rested enemy dude for 1 damage. Also really good. And then we're running our level 2, 1 cost 2/2. The Jegan, but this one is a green Earth-fed Londo Bell in particular, which is really good. This also being a green Earth-fed is pretty good for Age. We'll talk about Age in a different video. I'm kind of currently brewing up a new version of my Age deck, but the Jegan is good here because it's Londo Bell. And as you can see, we have a pretty aggressive curve going up to the top end for the new Gundam, which I think is quite good. And the final cards on the deck, we are running 3 Show of Resolves. Nice little just draw 2. We're in a really aggressive deck. We just want to barf out our hand and then, fill it back up. And then we're also running the new Raw Kalum warship. This is our Londo Bell base. Level 3 1 cost 0.5. On burst you deploy it, deploy shield to hand, and then activate main. You rest this base and you choose a friendly Londo Bell unit. During this turn, when it receives enemy damage, reduce it by 1, which is really, really good. So it just says during this turn when it receives enemy damage, not the first time it receives enemy damage. So obviously it's extremely good with the new Gundam because we can activate this effect. We activate this effect before we do the pair. So we activate the effect, then do the pair, and then we get the fight. Damage is reduced by 1. The thing dies. We heal for 2 from Amuro, and then we can attack into something, and then the same thing happens, which is really nice. And obviously you get the breach as well. And yeah, that's the deck. This deck is super strong. It's really aggressive. I can imagine a deck that a lot of people are going to play. I'm not sure if they're going to do some of my cheeky little tech, like the Set 1 LR or the Alex. I personally really, really like these cards in here. And this is what I will be starting with. But yeah, let me know what you're running. I think this will be a pretty popular deck. This is probably one of the go-to aggro decks going into Set 5. Next up, we are loading. Next up, we have my Neo Zeon deck. Now, this is going to be my pet deck. This is my project of the set. I want this deck to be really good, and I'm trying a lot of stuff with it. This is my current list, but as you can see here, I have a lot of like maybe cards that I want to try. So let's talk about it. So once again, we'll talk about our pilot piles first. Let's talk about my favorite card in all of the Gundam card game. We have Merida Cruz. She's a level 4 1 cost 2/1 pilot, Neo Zeon, Cyber Newtype, burst to hand, and then during link on attack, you choose an enemy unit whose level is equal to or lower than this unit, and you deal 1 damage to it. She's awesome, and she works super, super well with this deck because, well, she's Neo Zeon, and we have a ton of Neo Zeon links, so we can link her quite easily. Her mobile suit of choice is the Kshatriya, at least for this version of the deck. This is the LR Kshatriya, level 5 4 cost 5/4. This is my favorite unit in the game. Links with Merida Cruz, and when you pair it with a Cyber Newtype or Newtype pilot, which technically would trigger that off of Char, because he's a Newtype pilot. You can choose 1 to 2 enemy units, and you do 1 damage to each of them. So this is a great board control card with Merida. It's a 7 attacker that you get to ping 1 thing for 1 from Merida, and then 2 other things for 1 a pop, including maybe the first thing you ping from Merida. And this is just my favorite thing to do in the Gundam card game. It's my favorite turn 5 play. You Kshatriya into Merida Cruz. Other things that you can link with in this deck is we're running Resin's Gyaradoga, which is a level 4 2 cost 3/4 that is just links with any Neo Zeon trait. I'm running 3 of those, and I'm also running the Shuzram Gallus, which is kind of the same thing but flipped stats. It's a level 4 2 cost 4/3 linked with any Neo Zeon trait, and these are great in this deck because, well, they're pretty efficient dudes. And they just link with all of our pilots, including this kind of cracked command pilot that we'll talk about later. But we're running a lot of pilots, right? We're running Merida, we're running Char, we're running Full Frontal, and we also have this command pilot that I think is actually really good. So these are insanely good. They link with everything. They're always like good threats to draw. They're never just kind of like a dead nothing draw if you have a pilot in hand. So yeah, that's Merida Cruz. Let's talk about Full Frontal next, and then we'll talk about Char. I'm saving Char for last. We'll talk about Full Frontal next. So Full Frontal is a level 6 1 cost 2/2 Neo Zeon Cyber Newtype. When you pair it, you can deploy a Neo Zeon or Zeon unit card that's level 4 or lower from your hand, which is really, really nice. So that basically hits both of these 4 drops. It'll hit the Quest's Jagadoga, and it'll also hit the Hobby Hyzak. And then maybe, depending on what we do and change the deck later, it can also hit the Rosen Zulu, which I think is probably the best thing you can hit off of Full Frontal. I'm currently not running in the deck. We'll talk about that when I talk about the options, but it could be something we run, which is great. And so the units that link specifically with Full Frontal, other than the 2 level 4s, is we're running 3 copies of the Shinanju, or the Sinanju. It's really good. It's a 5/4 that will have high maneuver, and then when it destroys an enemy shield area card with damage, we can blast something for 2, which is sweet. I really like the Sinanju. It's been one of my favorite cards ever since the original starter decks. and I like to just jam it in. We do have other options if we wanted to not run full frontal. Like I said, we'll talk about that, because we could maybe go with a Haman Karn and Cubalay route, but I want to try the full frontal route first, because I'm also running 2 copies of the Neo Zeon as a insanely powerful top end. So it's a level 9 8 cost 6/7 links with full frontal, and when this unit or one of our other Neo Zeon units is deployed, you get to shoot something for 3. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Everything we run in the deck is Neo Zeon, and then also during Link, all our units gain Neo Zeon, but they're all Neo Zeon anyway. So essentially, even if we don't have the Link with this, if we just drop the Neo Zeon and it survives, we can just start jamming our dudes, and we have some pretty low cost ones. Even our level 4s only cost 2, so we can play a few of them, and things can kind of get out of control with this. I'm only running 2 copies of this because it's not our end goal, but it is something that we can do if we get to the level 9, and I do think things are going to be a little bit slower, and decks like this will be a little bit better into the meta. But we'll have to wait and see. That's why I want to try this first, and then we'll see how things go once everyone starts getting their hands on cards and playing more in person. So that's full frontal. And then for our last just general pilot, we have Char Aznable. This is obviously the Char from Char's Counterattack. I had to make a Char's Counterattack Almaro deck, and I had to make a Char's Counterattack Char deck. It's my favorite Gundam movie. It's my favorite Gundam thing. And obviously I have to make decks for all the stuff for it. So Char, I'm only running 3 copies of Char because we'll talk about it. So he's a level 5 1 cost 2/2 Neo Zeon and Newtype. Let me close the ad. When linked, you can choose a Neo Zeon base from your trash, and you just deploy it for free, which is really good. And we are running 1 base running Axis, which is also a really good base. It's a level 4 1 cost 0/6 base. It's a 0/6 base with upside for only 1 cost and level 4. It's just super good. On burst, you deploy shield to hand, and then you can activate main. You rest the base. If one of our units has been destroyed by one of our own Neo Zeon card effects during the turn, we can deploy a Neo Zeon unit card that's level 3 or lower from our hand, which basically means the quest is Jagadoga. This is the hope. We could technically also deploy a Hobby Hyzak, but the hope is that we use the Sazabi to yeet one of our Jagadogas. Jagadoga will come back to our hand from its own effect, and then we can get the effect of the Sazabi, and then you can use the Axis to just play it for free. Again, that's kind of like the idea here. And the whole reason we're only running 3 copies of Char is because, well, his effect is pretty good. It's not like the best thing, and he only has 1 very specific link that we want, which is the Sazabi, and even then the Sazabi doesn't need to be linked to do its stuff. It just will, enable you to do it immediately when you play it. He can also link, once again, like I said, with these cards as well, so we can get that effect from these as well. And so let's talk about the Sazabi. This card is so good. I think it might be my favorite card from the set. Level 7 5 cost 5/5 with suppression, and then obviously links with Char, and then on attack you can choose one of our units and destroy it. If we do, all enemy players each choose one of their non-battling units and destroy them. It's so sweet, man. I love just kind of like the incidental, like, yeah, you have to sack one of your dudes. Now the best thing to sack, obviously, is going to be our Quest's Jagadoga, which is a level 3 2 cost 3/2. Links with Quest. We're not running her on the deck. It's one that I started out with, but I ended up cutting her because I didn't think she was that great. And then when this is destroyed, if this unit is destroyed by one of our Neo Zeon card effects, you just add it to your hand. It's so good. This is the card that we really want to get, and we want it to be sacked by the Sazabi. That's the goal. Sacked by the Sazabi. Then Sazabi will kill something, and then we can use Axis to just kind of jam the Jagadoga back in. That's kind of like what we're doing Char for. So Sazabi, nice little 2-for-1 that also has suppression and just kind of can kill our opponents dead. And what's cool about this deck is we have a lot of removal between Kshatriya and Sazabi, and we also have a lot of like powerful keywords between them as well. We have suppression, and we also have high maneuver. So just kind of like ways to close out the game when we get there, backed up by a bunch of removal. Speaking of removal, for the rest of the deck, we have Veteran's Pride, also Resin Schneider. I want to put more of her in the deck, but I can't figure out what to cut for her. She's super good. She's a level 2 1-cost command pilot. On the pilot side, she only gets +1/+0. She's Neo Zeon though, so she actually links with those level 4 cards, which is actually really sweet because once again, you can turn these level 4 cards into linked units that can attack immediately in the late game if you don't need her command side. And her command side is main or action. Choose an enemy unit that's level 2 or lower and you destroy it. It's so good. If they didn't restrict the grunts, this card would have been an absolute staple. But the fact that they restricted the grunts means that this can hit much less things. It's still really good. Like it can still hit a lot of stuff. And it's only level 2, so it can hit it on curve. And it's also a link unit for all of our the level 4 cards that we have. But it's not as like slam dunk as it would have been otherwise. I still think she's really good though. I don't know how people are currently rating this card, but they're probably underrating her. I think she's really good. And then for the rest of the deck, we have Close Combat. I'm running this instead of the Darkness Finger, just because this one comes down a little bit earlier on level 2, though it does cost 2. I might swap to Darkness Finger later. They're essentially the same thing, except Darkness Finger is level 4 1-cost, and Close Combat is level 2 2-cost. Also, it has art of the Sananju, so I don't know, it kind of like flavorfully really fits in here. But if we didn't want to be all flavor, because this deck is currently all flavor, this deck is like maximum flavor, we could go for Darkness Finger, but I would go for it if it's more playable, which it might be. I'll be testing them both out. And then the final card is Airframe Seizure. I'm running this in literally every red deck until the end of time. It's so good, to the point where I even have it as a potential in my G-Fighter deck, or Mobile Fighter G-Gundam deck. Yeah, it's a level 1 1-cost. The command main, you discard a card and then you draw 2. You can discard an early Axis, and then later you can play it for free when you pair up your Char, or you link up your Char, or just kind of like sculpt your hand. Or you'll get additional synergy if we decide to run the Rose and Zulu. Yeah, it's just obviously extremely good. It also makes it so stuff like Full Frontal and Neo Zeon are a little less clunky early on. You can discard them and hopefully draw into something else that you can play if you don't want these sitting in your hand for the whole game. This card is just so good. And then that's basically the deck. What I've played with it so far is extremely fun. I love it a lot. But it is a work in progress, and it is a deck that I will be tweaking, here and there as things progress. As you can see, I have a lot of like maybes. I was trying Quest for a little while. I don't think she's that good. I think she's fine, but man, she just gives you the +1/+1, and then the destroyed effect is just it's okay. It's okay. Obviously, I mentioned Darkness Finger already as a option instead of Close Combat. The Rose and Zulu I mentioned. I think Rose and Zulu is really good. It's probably the best thing to put into play from Full Frontal. It's a 4/4 on deploy. You shoot any enemy unit for 1, and if the enemy unit has repair, you shoot it for 3 instead. And if the Amuro Aggro deck is going to be big, this is going to be great against that because they have a bunch of dudes with repair and blasting them for 3. It's a level 4 6-cost, but if we have 8 or more Neo Zeon cards in our trash, then the cost gets reduced by 4. So it'll be a level 4 2-cost. Which is extremely powerful. But, like I said, it's also just really good to be played off of Full Frontal because it is a level 4 card. And then the other options are you can run the Haman Karn and Cubile package as an endgame finisher instead of Full Frontal and Neo Zeon. I think that's definitely something I'll end up trying at some point. I've also ended up cutting the rare Sazabi. I tried it, and maybe it's just the games that I played, it didn't perform very well. Maybe I need to give it another shot. But it feels just, if you are not winning, this feels really bad. So it's a level 5 4-cost 5/4, links with Char. On deploy, you can choose one of your other units and you destroy it. If you do, you mill 3 cards, so put the top 3 cards of your deck into your trash, and then you add a Neo Zeon unit placed this way into your hand. So it's kind of like a draw 3, or draw 1 from the top 3. It also has some cool like trash synergy stuff. But the problem is you have to destroy one of your dudes. And if you don't specifically have the Quest is Jagadoga, and even if you do have the Quest is Jagadoga, you play this on curve and you're like down tempo, right? You have to sack your 3/2, and also you just get a 5/4. You could technically, play Char off of it and then play the Axis for free and then rest the Axis and get this back into play. Like that, you can do like the whole Char thing if you have everything kind of like lined up. But if you don't have everything lined up, and this is the way I like to think about, you know, deck building and evaluating cards. If you don't have the best case scenario, it's a 5/4 that you sack one of your dudes, and then you might not draw a card and get no value, and then you're down a unit, and then pray that you don't die. So I ended up cutting this one. It might make it back in the deck, but if I did, I'm not sure. I need to be convinced of it. It just feels like so bad when it doesn't perfectly line up. And then finally we have the, for units, it's the Alpha Azeru. This is just too slow. I tried this and I'm like, it's another card that's just like, doesn't do enough when I need it to. It's a level 8 card. Level 8, 7 cost 6/5, links with quests, has blocker, and then once per turn, whenever one of your units is destroyed by an effect, you draw a card. Now, obviously on paper, you're like, okay, I destroy my quest's Jagudoga, I get it back, I can activate Axis and play it again, I drew the card from this, and yeah, this all sounds great. But the problem is you need to play this and also have it in play, and then also have something to destroy the Jagudoga to even get a little bit of value. And at the worst case scenario, it is a level 8, 7 cost, 6/5 with blocker, which is just not good enough. It's just not good enough. There's so many things that just kill this right now in Gundam. I have a feeling that Wing is going to be really good, and there's a lot of Wing stuff that just blow this thing up. So, like, if they're running like Shenlong and Ultron and that kind of stuff. So, I ended up cutting it. Every time I had it, just didn't do anything. And I was just like, man, I just wish this was something else. But it's still a consideration. And then the final card is, I haven't tried this one yet. It's just a level 6, 2 cost, Newtype Labs Director. It's a command. On burst, you draw. And then on main, you choose one of your Neo Zeon pilots in our trash and we add it to our hand. This could be cool if we go really heavy into the pilot synergy. Like really big into like Merida and like Full Frontal or something like that. I think this could be good, but in this version of the deck, I don't really know yet. I like where this is currently, but like I said, things will change. I'll eventually do full deck text of every deck featured here, and they will likely change a little bit from them. And then we also have, I realize I'm being really slow with this. I'm really stoked with this set, man. Okay, we can be a little quicker on this one. So this is the newest version of my pet deck. This is my favorite deck that I've had since set 1, and I've done a video on it every single type. I call it like Newtype Burn, or Newtype Midrange, or Newtype Tempo. It's always something to that effect, and this is the newest version of it. I'm not going to go over it too much, because you might have seen all 4 of the other videos I already made talking about this deck. So instead, we'll go quickly. We'll go quickly. But I'll focus more on some of the new cards. So we're running Merida Cruz and Amuro as our pilots. We've already talked about them both in the previous decks. Amuro, one of the best pilots in the game. Merida Cruz, my favorite pilot in the game. We're running their signature mobile suits. We're running the ARC-72 Gundam, absolutely fantastic. We're running the Kshatriya, my favorite unit in the game. And then to also go with Amuro, we're running the Gundam Alex that can do additional damage and also draw cards. And then for Merida, we are running this Kshatriya, just running 2 copies of this one. But we're also running 3 copies of the Banshee, which is the double attacker for Merida Cruz, which is going to be a little bit easier to pull off because of the new airframe seizure. And this has always been kind of like my finisher for this style of deck. At one point, I was running, for a while actually, I was running the Cubile. But I think for this version, I think we don't necessarily need to go for the Cubile. We can kind of trim it down a little bit. And then rounding it out, we have the Gun Tank, and then we have a pet card of mine, Gustav Karl. I think it's really good. It's a level 3, 3 cost 3/4 with good stats, and then it also have a blocker if our opponent has 3 or more enemy units in play. I don't always rely on the blocker side, but just having a 3/4 for 3 generally is like pretty solid. And so yeah, this is kind of just a pet card of mine. You can probably put this, swap it with whatever else you want. But I think this is a really good one. And so the new cards added to this deck. We're adding 4 Darkness Finger to go with our 4 Close Combat, and we're adding the Airframe Seizure, which once again is a discard 1, draw 2, and this is obviously extremely good if you need to get those 12 cards from your trash to get the double attack on the Banshee. And then once again, Darkness Finger, just really efficient removal, and basically giving us 4 more copies of Close Combat, more or less. We're also still running 2 copies of Show Resolve for card draw, and then we're still running our Corsica base at 2 of, because this is restricted, and then the white base team, or the white base at 2 of as well. Just to make more units. And yeah, like I said, this is what I would call like a mid-range or tempo deck. We just want to kill our opponent's stuff as they play them, and then try to outvalue them with our cards that double as like removal, or draw, or player removal. So yeah, this is my favorite deck. It's been my favorite deck ever since set 1. Like I said, I've done a lot of videos on it. I'll probably do a new video on it, but this is my first take with it. Basically cut Haman Karn and the Cubile and added in more removal and card draw. Right, 2 more decks. Next up, this one is one that I've been waiting to upgrade for a while. We have the return of Wing Zero with the Wing Zero Endless Waltz. This is also just a big Hero Yui deck. Now, this is another one that I've been playing around with quite a bit. I think there's a lot of options you can go with. You could go with a Catra route. I think Catra is very, very good. Or you can kind of go with a Chang Wufei route, or neither of these, and just go for hero, go like 8 hero. I'm doing a little duo splash because I'm doing a little cheeky Death Sight splash. Just because Death Sight's one of my favorite units in the game, or just one of my favorite Gundams ever, next to the new Gundam. And so I'm trying this one out again. I think it's pretty good. I think the deck's actually pretty solid. And I'm also trying out this Heavy Arms just as a role filler. So let's talk about it. So once again, let's do pilot piles. So we have Hero Yui and Hero Yui. So the first Hero Yui, they're both level 4 1 costs pilots burst to hand. They're both 2/1s. The green Hero Yui, during Link, he gets an additional +1/+1. He's also Operation Meteor, whereas the white Hero Yui is also G-Team in addition to Operation Meteor, and he has a different effect. When this unit destroys an enemy shield area card with damage, which I'm pretty sure this also triggers from Breach, choose an enemy unit and gets -2 AP during the turn, so it just kind of helps us do some board control. We use this Hero Yui to be aggressive, and we use other things to control the board a little bit. So we're running 3 and 3. And so for the units for them, obviously we're running the big level 8 cost Wing Zero. This is just kind of like your big top end finisher. It has high maneuver, and on deploy, we can kind of like wipe a lot of the small things. Deal 3 damage to all units that are level 5 or lower. That'll hit only a couple cards in our deck. It'll just hit our like small dudes, our little blockers, and the heavy arms. Everything else will be safe from that, which is pretty nice. And yeah, this is kind of where we want to get to. We want to get to the point where we can just drop Wing Zero and then drop another Wing Zero and try to win the game from there. We're also running the starter deck, Wing Gundam. This one obviously is fantastic. It can be a 7/7 off of the green Hero Yui, but it's still pretty good off of the white Hero Yui being a 6/6 with that nice trigger to shrink something when we kill something with battle damage, right? Or a shield area card with battle damage. So yeah, it has Breach 5, and then this unit can choose an active enemy unit that's level 4 or lower as the attack target, so it's just really good at just killing stuff. And then finally, the new, actually technically the Heavy Arms is a link as well, but we also have the new Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz. And this card's super sweet. So it's a 6/5, or it's a level 6 5 cost 5/4, links with hero. It's G-Team. And then while a rested enemy unit is in play, this unit gains suppression. And on attack, you can choose an enemy unit and rest it. This is so good because, 1, you don't need the link to do either of those things. But 2, if you do have the link, it's just huge and has suppression, and it can rest an enemy unit on attack. It's so good. I think this card is fantastic. And obviously we're running a full 4 of all of the Wing LRs here. And that's not to say that we have more links with Hero. We have this Heavy Arms. I'm basically running this as additional links for Duo as well. And it's just kind of like a fine mid-game card. It's a level 4 3 cost 3/4, and it links with any Operation Meteor trait. And all of our pilots here are Operation Meteor, so it links with all of our pilots. And it's just deploy, you look at the top card of your deck, you can put it back on top or put it on the bottom. So it's a little bit of like card draw sculpting. It's not the most exciting thing, but I'm kind of putting this in here in lieu of more blockers. Now, I have it down here. You could also just put in more blockers. You could put in the flat militia. You can even put in like a little low-cost dude if you want. Heroes Leo. I'm trying this one out, just kind of smooth things, going from level 4 into the rest of the game. But yeah, and then we also have Duo Maxwell as our other pilot. Level 4 1 cost 1/2 Operation Meteor Pilot. During Link, this unit's AP can't be reduced by enemy effects, which is kind of a cool effect. And his mobile suit of choice obviously is the Gundam Death Scythe. Level 6 4 cost 5/4, so links with Duo Maxwell. And if you link it up, it'll be a 6/6. When you pair this with Operation Meteor Pilot, so any of our pilots, we place a rested resource, not EX, we just ramp, which is really good because we can. This is true since set 1. If you do this, you go from level 6 to level 8 for the next turn. So you go to level 6, you get your resource, go to 7, on the next turn you go to 8, so you can actually go from Death Scythe into Wing 0, which is quite good. And it also gets first strike for the turn when you do that. So it'll be a 6/6 first strike. You get a resource, kill something, and hopefully next turn you drop your Wing 0, and you kind of go to town from there. And then the rest of the units, we just have blockers. We have Rick DS at 4 of, and then Lifrith at 4 of. We have a 2/4 blocker and a 3/3 blocker. I like the 3/3 blocker just because you can do a little base busting and help us with some of the aggression. But you could also just run more copies of the Lifrith with the flat, or you can even run more copies of this with the heavy arms. And it's the unit count's a little deceiving. It says 27 here, but it's actually 30 because we're also running Striker Pack, which is a command that makes another blocker. So if you burst into it, you get a 3/3 blocker, and if you just play it, you can either choose a 4/2 blocker or a 2/4 blocker, and you can only do this if you have no other of these tokens in play. But I'm running 3 of these. It's just a great burst, especially early, and just gives us even more blockers, which is why, once again, where I'm going for the heavy arms route instead of just more flats. I feel like we have a lot of blockers anyway, but hey, you can just maybe do even more blockers. And so that's it for the units. Let's talk about the rest of the card. So I'm running 2 of Unforeseen Incident. I think this card's still really good. You burst, you activate the main. It's a level 3 1 cost command. And then main action, you choose an enemy unit and gets -3 AP during the turn. It's just really good for combat. Your opponent never sees it coming. And for me, it's always just really, really strong. So we're running 2 copies of that. I'm also running 2 copies of Graceful Demeanor. Against certain decks, this is an insane blowout. Level 4 2 cost command burst, you activate the action, and on action you choose 1 to 2 enemy units that level 3 or lower, and you bounce them both back to the hand. If you can do this multiple turns in a row, you just win the game. You're so far ahead on tempo. I've had this happen to me. It's really brutal. I think this card's really, really good. This is one that we might bump up more copies. I'm running 2 right now, but it might be worth running like 3 or maybe even 4. For the other command, we are running Overflowing Affection, just really nice, solid, card draw and card selection. Any deck where I have a lot of like high drops, like all these like 6s, level 6s and level 8s, it's really nice to have this so we can actually like hopefully draw into some early game stuff to get some blockers and some units down. And so yeah, it's a staple for a reason. And then finally, we have 2 bases. We have the Argama. I'm running 2 copies of Argama just because it's a nice base that helps, it's really resilient against certain decks that do a lot of like effect damage, good against breach, that kind of stuff. And then I'm running the Peace Million, which is just another really, really solid base. It's a 0/6 base. And then once per turn, during your turn, when a friendly Operation Meteor or G-Team unit, so like all of our Gundams with the exception of the blockers, that's level 6 or higher. So I guess not the heavy arms, but most of all the other stuff in the deck, right? All the Wing Zeros, all the Zeros and Wings and the Death Scythe. Anyway, when they destroy an enemy unit with battle damage, they heal 2, which is really good. That's nice. And that's the deck. Yeah, we just kind of, block it up and then get to our late game finishers with our Wing Zeros, Wing, and maybe a little tiny bit of Death Scythe. Now, like I said, this deck's a work in progress. I like where this is currently, but you also can add in more blockers. You can add in, a 2/2. I don't really like it in this deck. I'd much rather add in more blockers. Or you can swap out Duo for Wu Fei, which is pretty nice, and you can kind of go for the anti-blocker route with either the Shenlong or another huge 8-drop or level 8 card with the Ultron, which is, it's another breach 5. And then on attack, you can use an enemy with blocker and you blast it for 5, which is really good. And the Shenlong's also pretty solid against smaller blockers. And like I mentioned, I think Katra is really good because when you pair it, you can choose an enemy that's level 5 or lower and you rest it, so it's kind of like a sort of Amuro effect. The problem is we don't have a lot of great links with Katra. We have the Sandrock Custom Endless Waltz, which is a 3/4, links with Catra, and on attack, if you have another G-Team or Preventer unit in play, choose an enemy unit gets -2 AP during the turn. It's fine. We also have this Heavy Arms, but they're like just fine, right? Whereas Duo actually has like a pretty solid unit, and Chang Wufei, let's say, just call him Chang Wufei. Wufei has like very good units, like the Ultron's really good. So I don't know, it's like a toss-up here. Good pilot, but the links aren't very good. So this is where I'm currently at with this deck. I think it's really sweet. Let me know if you were doing something like this. And then finally, we're wrapping up the 1 hour video. This is way longer than I thought it would be. We have the deck made by my nephew Troyce. He was telling me all about this deck. That when his friend was playing it in the recent Eggman event, and he ended up taking it. So this is a blue-purple Mikazuki Orb deck, essentially. It's like a Tekkadan Orb deck. Troyce has been playing a lot of Gundam. He plays more Gundam than me, probably. And he was on the kind of like Mikazuki Amuro, Blurple, but he kind of usually did like a slightly different take on the Blurple. His tended to skew more mid-rangey, and I really like this deck. So let's talk about it. So obviously he's running Mikazuki. Mikazuki's fantastic. It's a nice little another pilot that does board control because it can ping your own dude and ping one of your opponent's dudes when you pair it, and you use that in conjunction with all of the other ping effects we have in the deck, like the Gundam Barbatos Adapt, which once again on deploy, ping one of your units and ping an enemy unit, also links with Mikazuki. He's also running the Gujin Rebake LR, which once again on deploy, choose one of your units and ping it, choose an enemy unit and ping it. This one also is a blocker. It's a 3/5 blocker. And then, of course, he's running the Gundam Barbatos First Form, the LR that lets you draw a card if it is damaged, which is also extremely, extremely good. So he is running those cards for like the Mikazuki package. He's also running Gray's Custom as a Tekkadan Grunt. And for the base, he has the Isaribi, which, it is a Tekkadan base, but it's the one that you can rest it and choose one of our damage units and get +2 AP. So all these all like synergize really well with Mikazuki. I kind of set this up a little bit different because I want to talk about Mikazuki first, and then I want to talk about the new orb side of things. So we have all of the board control and the card advantage that comes from the Mikazuki side. Well, let's talk about the Orb side, which also gives you a lot of card advantage. So I want to start off with the new Kira Yamato. Kira Yamato is much better than he looks, because he looks like a worse Bandager Lynx, right? Because you only get the card draw if it's linked to an Orb triple ship alliance, not just any link. But the Orb cards here are pretty solid. So he's a level 5 1 cost 2/2. He's Orb Coordinator, a burst to hand, and then one link, like I said, if it's an Orb triple ship alliance unit, you get to draw a card. Well, we are running the brand new Strike Freedom Gundam LR, level 8 6 cost 5/6. Links with Kira. It's Orb. On deploy, choose 1 to 2 of our units during this turn. When they destroy an enemy card with damage, you draw a card. Or with battle damage, you draw a card. And then also during pair on attack, you may discard 2. If you do, choose an enemy unit that is the lowest level and put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. Because basically that thing's gone forever. So this is great value, right? You don't have to do the part where you discard 2 cards, but you can essentially get those cards back from the play effect. And then also, if you're jamming Kira, you get to draw another card from him as well. This is really good with the Hashmal. He's actually running the Hashmal in the deck, which is awesome. That was one of the first things I saw. I was like, yo, you're running the Hashmal. This card is sick. It's a level 7 6 cost 5/6. No link. It's Calamity War. But once per turn, during your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy card with battle damage, you get a 2/1 token. Then, this unit gains the same number of repair as the number of Calamity War tokens in play. And so, it basically makes tokens that then just heal it back up. And why this is cool is because you can actually curve Hashmal into Freedom Strike Gundam. So you play Hashmal, do whatever else on your turn, pass. If it survives, you can jam your Strike Freedom Gundam, and then you can choose the Hashmal as one of the units. So when it kills something, you're going to draw a card. And also when it kills something, you're going to make a 2/1 as well. So they just kind of like curve really, really nicely into each other, and you can get a lot of value out of it, which is really, really nice. The other cards for Kira, we have Kira Strike Rouge. It's just a level 4, 2 cost 3/4 with a link. Sure, you've seen me put this type of card in a lot of the other decks, right? It's just got a nice little efficiently statted thing. And then we have the that's it. These two are the other orb pilot. So the other orb pilot is Andrew Waldfield, level 4 1 cost 2/1 burst add to hand. During link, this unit gets repair 2. And we're also running his one of his signature mobile suits. We're running Waldfield's Murasame. So it's a level 3 2 cost 2/4. Actually, really good stats for a level 3. And when it is destroyed, if we have an orb pilot in play, we get to draw a card. And then it itself is just really annoying. It gets +2/+1, making this a 4/5 with repair for level 3. Or I guess you need level 4 to play the Andrew, but man, it's still really, really annoying. And then once again, we can also play Andrew onto the Strike Rouge because he's an orb pilot, which is pretty solid. And the final card is, or the final unit is the M1 Astray. This is just a like a gun tank basically. Level 2 1 cost 1/2 deploy. Choose a rested enemy unit and do 1 damage to it. This is the one that's restricted. You can only play this or the gun tank. And that's it for the units here. Rounding out the deck, we just have Show Resolve. I feel like you want to put this in most blue decks. And yeah, this is just essentially a really efficient like value deck, right? You can be really aggressive with it. You draw a ton of cards. A lot of the cards in this deck say draw a card. You have like Kira, you have the Strike Freedom, you have the Barbatos, you have the Murasame, and then a lot of stuff just deals damage. So dealing damage, drawing cards is a pretty good combination. So big shout out to Troyce for putting this deck together, and shout out to his friend for piloting it to a successful result. I just wanted to feature it here because, hey, it literally just came up like yesterday while we were playing some Magic. Actually, we're playing Pauper. Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna go back to me here in the studio and we'll cap off the video. It's been a long one. Yo, it's me again. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what decks you are looking forward to playing in the new Gundam Set 5 meta. Also, keep an eye out for all of our Gundam Set 5 coverage going into the next week. Like I said, I have 8 booster boxes. I have a opening and review of the like the deck builder kit thing. Yeah, we got a lot more stuff for GD05. I want to bring back the Shuffle Alliance gameplay series, especially since they actually put the Shuffle Alliance in the game. And more deck techs. Most of the decks that I did today, I'll probably have full videos on as things go on, but I'll probably also have another video like this going over a few of the other decks that I have planned on building and playing around with. We have an updated version of Gundam Age and like a ton of other stuff. So let me know what you'd like to see in the comment section down below, and I'll be able to feature it in a future video. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe hype the video if you can. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time for some more Gundam card game content. Lots to come, lots to come. All right, later everyone.